Paloma. Look at that!
Wow.
Delmo.
Get there. Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Over the Cap. I am the one and only Mike Val. And I am back tonight. We've been away for a couple weeks. I was actually at the USBC convention about 2 weeks ago. I had to listen to St. Chad Murphy preach for 2 days straight out there in Las Vegas. But I did get to see a lot of familiar faces out there. I got to spend some time with some really good people. Steve Klemkin, John Janowitz, Mike Albee, to name a few. Walter Ray was out there, former guest of the show. So it was good to see a lot of the Hall of Famers out there and a lot of the who's who in the industry. So in the 2 weeks that I've been gone, we can just really recap really quick. I guess the big thing taking back from the convention was the certification of the string pin that'll be happening as of August 1st. USBC doing that. My opinion, I'm not a big fan of it. It's almost like putting a coin slot on the sport of bowling. Go to the bowling center, put $1 at the ball return, and you throw 12 balls. That's exactly what it's like going to the boardwalk and putting $1 in a game and playing skee ball. That's exactly what it's going to become. And I understand it's a test, but my opinion, I think it is the wrong thing to do. I think it is the wrong thing. It's not bowling. I'm a traditionalist. I think everybody knows me that I'm a traditionalist in every aspect of the word. When it comes, especially like with the two-handers and the one-hander throwing a backup ball and all yada yada yada, all that stuff. I'm the biggest thing from that. I don't like it. They showed videos there of testing of USBC testing the strings and whatnot over the years, and they showed the one that stood out to me the most was they showed a clip of a guy shooting a 2-8-10 on the string pins, and he shot the 10 pin on purpose. The 10 flew into the 8. The 8 takes the 2 out. It's just going to make. Obviously, they shorten the strings up, but I mean that's what you're going to be seeing. It's not bowling to me. That is not bowling. The string pins I think are a bad idea, but that's the direction they want to go. They're going to do it as of August 1st. A little test run, compare the data, yada yada yada. Good luck. I tell you what, my ball will never hit a string pin lane. That's just my opinion. I don't think anything or any place here in my area is going to do that. I know there's one center out in Trenton that's supposedly going to half string and half traditional. Good luck. First one of the night. You want centers to close because they can't get enough people to work on the machines are fine. No. The string pins, this is what they were saying, and the proprietors that were at the town hall meeting that day, Nico, in Vegas, they were in an uproar when they announced this. I mean, you're taking the mechanic, basically making his job obsolete now. It is very hard to find a mechanic to work these machines, the A2s or the 8790s or 8290s, whatever they're called. It's hard to find them now. They are becoming obsolete. Parts are becoming obsolete. Parts are becoming expensive and whatnot. What's going on there, Mark? We'll talk about you in a little bit. It is hard. So there's a lot of things that are just going to be, different now. Do I like it? No. Do I agree with it? No. But this is the direction they're going in. I talked to somebody out there, and they said, when they introduced synthetic lanes, that was another big change. Well, yeah, I get that, but it is what it is. They do have a string lane at Howell. It's only one lane. It's in the training center, which is not going to be certified by the USBC. That lane is just there for basically for decoration. So that is nothing to do with league play or anything like that. So my question now becomes is, When are they going to do this at the professional level? Are they going to eventually go to a center that has all strings? Are you going to see the U.S. Open? Are you going to see the Masters on strings? What are the best guys in the world going to say if they have to bowl against the strings? Being honest, what's going to happen? Do you ever think it's going to hit that point where it's going to go to the professional level? Here's my 2 cents on it. I think since the USBC runs the PWBA, they're going to test it with the ladies first. I think they're going to put it professionally at the professional level with the women first to test it to see how it flows. And then they'll go, if it's a success, bring it to the men's tour to the PBA. That's my opinion. Again, I'm just speculating. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's my 2 cents. Enough about the string pins right now. Enough about the USBC. I don't want to talk about St. Chad Murphy anymore. Let's get into other things that have happened recently. EJ Tackett's the best bowler on the planet, hands down. There's nobody better than him. One hand, two hand, backup, reverse, whatever the hell it is. EJ Tackett is the best bowler on God's green earth right now. How great was it to see a tour stop back at Carolier in North Brunswick, New Jersey? I don't care what they say. It's not Bolero, North Brunswick. It's not Bolero, New Jersey. It's Carolier Lanes. End of story. Anybody from the Northeast will always refer to that building on Route 1 in North Brunswick as Carolier Lanes. It was fantastic to see the PBA back there. If you want to rank 5 centers in the history of the Professional Bowlers Tour, that's kind of like a mecca, of bowling, basically. You consider the Showboat in Las Vegas one of them. Riviera and Akron is another one. I'm going to put Carolier in the top 5, 100%. Carolier Lanes was one of the top 5 centers the PBA ever visited. Did I go to the Players in person? I did not. I will be going to the Players on Friday this week. I have an invitation to go hang out on the truck with a dear friend of mine, Mr. Lee Vanderhoff, who now drills. He drills for the PBA. So I'm going to go hang out with Sweet Lee Friday night on the truck and shoot the shit, have a couple of drinks with him and the guys, and go from there. But I did not see any of the competition. I couldn't get up there, Nico. But from what I got told, from the PTQ on Sunday through practice, through qualifying and match play and the shows, that place was rocking. And if you look at the crowd, that is an awesome crowd. It's always been an awesome spot to go. When they had the Petraglia open there, the crowds were always fantastic. The Pro-Ams were through the roof. They had the bowl for the vets. For years, Johnny had that at his tournament. He had the Celebrity Pro-Am, and I was fortunate enough one of the years to actually bowl with Junior, with Michael J. Fox when his dad was filming Greedy. He came over there. We bowled with Jerome Bettis one year. It's always been one of the best spots for the tour. But the place was packed when I got told. The other good thing was, look at it this way. I mean, Matt Russo, local guy, 40 minutes away, makes the run, gets through qualifying, gets through match play, makes a show. You always like seeing the hometown guy making a run when he's home. And like Randy said on the show, could sleep in his own bed, blah, blah, blah. It's great. And he had family, he had support, he had his buddies here. We were all pulling for Matt, right? That spot is bowling. When the tour used to come here, we used to go Carolier, Long Island, and then up to Connecticut and Windsor Locks at Bradley Bowl. Those were 3 phenomenal stops. The PBA needs to put Carolier, not Bolero, North Brunswick, Carolier on the schedule every single year. They draw. The crowds come out. The fans come out. You don't think the place is going to be packed and rocking Saturday night when Bill O'Neill's bowling for the title in the Final Four? He's 35 minutes away living in Pennsylvania. Again, Nico, the center will be packed on Saturday. I could not agree with you anymore. Brian also agree on that one. Could not agree with you guys anymore. Carolier will be packed and rocking Saturday night as Billy O tries to win the Players for the second time. My pick, I think it's going to be a Billy O Kevin McCune final. That is going to be my pick. I've never seen Kevin McCune throw the ball live in person, but holy shit, does that kid get a handful. He is, somebody said this on Facebook this week, he is a modern day Rudy Revs just in the 21st century. If anybody ever saw Rudy throw it when he was in his prime, McCune has Rudy's ball speed and his hand at the bottom. This kid does not get gypped. He is his father times 100. If anybody's seen Eugene ever throw the ball on tour, Eugene McCune never got gypped with his ball speed and hitting it. Kevin McCune is going to be a superstar. His physical game is absolutely incredible. He is just stupid talented. He looks like he's built like a brick. So between that, the ball speed, he can go up the lane, around it, over the gutter. I mean, the kid has all the tools in his bag. He is going to win. If he doesn't win this week, he is going to win soon. The kid is going to be a superstar. That family and the McCune family, between Don, Eugene, and now Kevin, they are going to be a name, a family name in the sport, in the history of the sport, moving forward. Kevin's legacy. Yes, I do agree with that. You beat the best in the world, you're always that's to loosen up your swing, regardless. And that's exactly what he did. And EJ, what more can you say about EJ? I'm watching the Mets here; they're about to lose to the Reds. They stink. EJ is just on another planet. He really is. Simonson also is on another planet. I didn't realize how many tricks that kid really has for a two-hander. He can trick the ball into doing doing things that a one-hander can do. He is uber talented. It is ridiculously disgusting how talented Anthony Simonson is. But like I said, I do think it's going to be McCune coming out of that one. And then you go to the other one, you go to the Butters and Bill match. Butters has a little bit of the advantage. He's the only one on his side of the lane, and his look was pretty good. When he threw that, the hell did he throw? He threw the what are that blue and orange Met color Brunswick thing. Not a mastermind. What the hell? Whatever. Mainstream. I don't know what the hell it's called. Somebody wants to tell me what that was called. On the left lane, and obviously the purple on the right lane. He had a really good look. And he was fortunate enough. He was in that first match before they put a hole in that pair for Russo when Matt got the ball Billy on Sunday. Butters by himself is dangerous. He can set the pair up for himself, and when he has a look, Butters is a real tough out. Here's the only thing: Billy O'Neill grew up in that center. Yeah, the lane beds are different than they were, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Billy O'Neill has grown up in that center. Like I grew up in that center. We all bowled as kids in that place for years. Billy knows every pair in that place, how they play, how different parts of the house play. And everybody's not familiar with Carolier, 82 lanes, 48 upstairs, the rest on the second level. So I believe the telecast was on 7 and 8 on Saturday or Sunday last week when Billy was on the show. So the upstairs normally plays a little bit tighter than the downstairs does. Bill has the home field advantage. It's almost like going into Arrowhead Stadium in January and playing Patrick Mahomes. He has the home field advantage. Bill O'Neill has the home field advantage, Bowl and Buttriff on Sunday. I really think that is just a huge thing. There we go, another Bill fan. I don't see Billy losing. I really don't. I'm going to predict a O'Neill McCune final. And I think Billy wins the Players for the second time. It's just all the stars are lining up. The whole thing with his anniversary this past week, the kids are there, his family's there, his friends are there. This is Bill's Super Bowl, especially winning it in that building. He's made the show a couple times at the Open there. I don't think Bill's ever won a Carolier. Definitely not at the professional level. I know Bill's won many like amateur events at Carolier through the years, but I think it's Billy's turn to break out. That's my prediction. Billy wins the Players on Saturday at Carolier. This week they are currently in Delaware. They're at where the hell they are in Maryland. The ball in the doubles thing right now. How about Packy? Packy's struggling today. Packy led the A squad at 377 over for 6. He struggled a lot. He only averaged 262 for the 6 today. Hang in there, Packy. You struggled a lot today. Packy's, I believe Packy's, who did Packy's bowling with? I don't remember who Packy was bowling with. Top 5 right now out of the A squad. Packy, Timmy Foy, local guy, Arturo Quintero, Ryan Barnes, Zach Wilson. Ryan Barnes holding up Grandpa Barnes, his father. Ryan was 278 over, shot 300 in Game 5, and his partner, Dad, or as I like to call him, Grandpa Barnes. Grandpa struggled a little bit today. He was. Take a look, see where Grandpa Barnes was today. Oh, by the way, it's 3-0 Reds. The Mets are losing again. This is just an absolute disgrace. We'll talk about the Mets in a little bit. But I'm absolutely done with them. They're overpaid bunch of stiffs. They are. What a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. What did Barnes do? Yeah, he's Packy's bowling with Mitch Hoope. That's right. He's bowling with Mitch. And Barnes bowling with his son. That was the big thing. It was all over social media this morning. It was bowling with his kid. What did Barnes bowl this morning? Why can't I find Chris Barnes on the list here? Let's stop looking here. Old age. Can't find him. Oh, well, whatever the case is. Barnes bowled today. Barnes did not bowl that well. I think he might have been like 50 or 60 over, but they're sitting well. And there we go. Thank you, Charles. 120 over for Grandpa Barnes. But the kid carried him today. Kid bowl's good. Ryan's a hell of a player. So they're going there. They're bowling there in Mid-County in Delaware. Middletown, Delaware. That's where they are. Mid-County Lanes. I couldn't think of the name of it. So without any further ado, I want to get right into it. I've been promised. I promised everybody a rant for the ages tonight, and I am going to drop the gloves, and I'm going to let it fly. And this is in a direct reply. I'm not going to name the name of the person I'm going after, or I'm going to fire back at. You probably will know it, who I'm talking about. There are people in the sport, in the industry, that do what I do tonight for fun, right? We enjoy this. We love the game. We like getting our voice out there and get our words out there and just shoot the shit, basically, and just give our opinion and whatnot. The best of the best being Barnes and Stewie. Stewie and Barnes, they do a fantastic job. They've been doing it since the pandemic. And I learned a lot of stuff from watching Chris and Stu. And then in talking to them and whatnot, I picked up some advice and some tips. We had Barnes on twice. I've had Stewie on twice when I was with Justin for a while. So picking their brains, Brad and Kyle is another one. They do, their social media presence is fantastic. The Tangs, another one. And I'll even put myself and Justin in there when we did our show together. We learned in the beginning, we struggled for a little bit, but we learned the ropes and we got to be pretty good. And our voice got out there. We have some fun, we joke around, but we try to be respectful of everybody in the industry and in the sport and whatnot. There's somebody out there that has the gall to use social media and to use the presence and to use his podcast and in a feature that they just kind of insult somebody every week. He did this last year to a guy in his own league, in his sport league. Said bowler bowled an 800 on a short pattern in his sport league. Took to social media and bashed the guy like it was nobody's business. Hit the easy pair, had the wall on that pair, no credit whatsoever. Said guy, 2 weeks later, flew to Vegas to bowl the Nationals. Said bowler bowled 20-30 for his 9 games at Nationals last year. Did he have 2 easy pairs out to South Point too? Did USBC just put the China on his pair for 9 games? Did he? Being curious. No respect. Mark Calinari from Linden, and I know, but not anybody from the East or out of the East that doesn't know who Mark is. Mark's a good friend of mine, probably in his mid-20s, and he's a two-hander. Mark is a recent Storm staffer and whatnot, and Mark takes social media when he puts up an honor score, just like everybody else does, right? And some of the companies, they give you incentives. You bowl 300, you put it up there. You get a couple dollars in your bank for whatnot for your expense account, and you get equipment and whatnot. They want to see that. The companies that you're on staff with, they want to see you promote the brand. They want to see you promote their equipment, right? Dave Watka is the most tagged person in all of America. You can't take a piss at a bowling center without tagging Dave Watka. Seriously. And I'm using that as a joke, right? Mark Calinari, for the past 3 weeks, in his league, and I believe it's in North Arlington is where he's done it. Mark Collinari for the past 3 weeks has bowled 800, 800, 800. 3 consecutive weeks, has taken it to Facebook, posted scores, posted a video of him throwing a shot, posts the ball, posts a picture of the score sheet, blah, blah, blah. You answer me this question. Why is it that this kid gets pissed on by same guy, not going to name his name, same guy, and is the beating boy to Mark? And he basically pissed on Mark's parade, saying that, it's only easy because he's done it on the wall. He won't bowl on the sport pattern, blah, blah, blah. Let me just say this to you. I don't care how easy a lane pattern is. It doesn't matter. You could have a ramp going to the 1-2 or to the 1-3. You still have to walk to the approach. You have to have good balance. You have to release the ball well. You can't grab it. You can get away with a shot here or there. If you're going to bowl 800 3 consecutive weeks in a row, I don't care who you are, you're doing something right. Okay? You're doing something right. The kid is talented. To me, it sounds like it's a jealousy thing. Said guy is jealous of Collinari because of all the accomplishments he had. The kid averaged 250 last summer in a summer league. Now, granted, it's only a summer league, 30 games, 40 games, whatever it is. 250. 250. Okay? 250. Let me ask you another question to said guy. Why don't you go out on social media on your worst of the week feature, right? Why don't you ever go after Gene Perez, the big lefty from Ohio, that posts his 109th 300 that he bowled? Why? Because he bowls on tour? He gets a pass? Or what about Michael Martell? Martell bowls 800 every other week in Babylon or on Long Island. Or why don't you go after this guy, Ian Lang? My man, how are you? Why don't you go after Ian Lang? He bowled 879 2 weeks ago. He shot 800 again last night. Why don't you ever go after Ian Lang and say, he doesn't challenge himself? Or how about Brent Pishik? Guy has 200, 300 games. You don't badmouth him. Or how about Adam Barta? Barta posts his 300s and 800s all the time. Why don't you go break Adam Barta's balls? People like that is what's wrong with the game. It makes us look like shit. Appreciate the talent that these guys have. I don't care if you're bowling on the wall, you're bowling on a 1-to-1, a half-to-1, you're bowling on the U.S. Open. It doesn't matter. Why do you got to piss on somebody's parade? Why is it? Was Collinari's not going to defend himself? Well, enough people got pissed off and defended Mark. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Go break somebody else's chops because he doesn't want to go bowl on tour. Let's get this straight, too. There's 5 people in the world that throw a bowling ball and make a living doing it, to pay their bills. Belmo, Tackett, Troop, Simonson. You want to say Jesper, maybe? Who's the 5th one? Give me another one. There's maybe 4 or 5 guys that can do that for a living. Okay? I don't throw a bowling ball and make money off of it. I know what my limitations are. Okay? Collinari knows. He doesn't pay his bills, pay his car payment, pay his mortgage by throwing a bowling ball. If you want to do that, you think you're at that level and you're that high up on the bowling ladder, then why don't you go bowl on tour? Let's see how good you are. Okay? Let's see how good you are. Because you got so much to say about everybody else. Go bowl against the pros. They're here. They're in town. Go bowl. Challenge yourself. You know what? You are the keyboard warrior. Tonight, I'm not going to be the keyboard warrior. I'm sick of people like that. Sick of it. I break balls about guys that shoot scores and hugging the lane man and whatnot. It's all in fun. I give credit where credit's due. Collinari has a shitload of talent. Martell has a shitload of talent. All these guys, Michael Mirabile is another one, posts his honor scores all the time, right? So let's get this straight. So Martell can average 245 bowling in Babylon with his eyes closed. But because he bowls on tour and challenges himself, that's okay. What about Quinn Collins? There's another good example. What about Mush? For all these people that don't know, I'm using Dejan Smith as his name. He's a guy from up in northern New Jersey. Quinn Collins, another guy from up in northern New Jersey. Chris Aponte, another guy from northern New Jersey. Why don't you guys ever go after those 3 guys? They shoot 300 every other day, every other game, basically. Q shoots 300 with his eyes closed at Linden at least once a week. Never go after them. Why? Oh my God, Francisco Alvarez just hit a home run. It's a miracle. My number 1 prospect in all baseball just hit a home run. I wet my pants. I'm thrilled. Thrilled. Why don't you ever have your worst of the week feature about those guys? So when Q shoots 300 or Mush shoots 850 like he did last week or 2 weeks ago, I believe he did it in Lodi, and he tags Watka, that doesn't make your feature. But why are you going after Culinary? Just being curious. Bowling gets enough bad press anyway, and there's a lot of egos in the game. There are. But enough is enough. We all come for the same thing. We all love the sport. We're growing the sport. Is it a jealousy thing? What is it? Why does everybody in the game hate everybody else? You piss on everybody else's accomplishments. How about you just put your hand and say, hey, man, good bowling, whatever it is. Shoot 300, I'm sorry, 800 3 weeks in a row. You're doing something right. And he does it in different centers. Yes, he's done it 3 weeks in a row in the same building, but he shoots 300, 800 in every other center he goes to. Give the kid credit instead of pissing on his parade. If this was you, sir, if this was you, and you're the one posting it, and somebody did this to you, how would you feel? Did you ever think of that? I won an all events title in my association this year, and I heard shit for balls on the house shot, blah, blah, blah. You don't respect. It is what it is. Everybody to be a hater. But at the end of the day, I beat the field. I did something right. This kid's doing something right. We all are. What is the problem? Tell me, what is the problem? I'm asking the people that are watching now, go into the chat, type in, what is wrong with bowling now? Besides the egos. Tell me. But I would love to know. I think this is the biggest, one of the biggest issues there is. And unfortunately, this guy has a good following and whatnot. For what? For what? For insulting people? That's how you're going to get advanced? Look, my dream, I would love to do this, and I would love to go sit in the booth and do, like, you know, the extra frame or bowl TV, whatever they call it now. I would love to do that. I'm never going to, right? I feel that the way I've done this for the past 3 years, starting with Justin and now doing it on my own, I would be better represented doing it than the other people, and especially the one I'm referring to. Yeah, I'm taking a shot. I'm sorry, but it's wrong. It's absolutely disgusting. People like him or whatnot. Well, didn't he throw an expletive out there on the live feed during Battle Bowl one year, or some kind of a racial slur? Just saying. That's what's wrong with bowling. People like that is what's wrong with bowling. Look, my worst bowling rival could bowl 860, and it would pain me to watch that happen. I would go up to the guy, hey man, great bowling, shake his hand, good bowling. You got to do it out of respect. End of story. We don't do this for a living. I don't do it for a living. You don't do it for a living. How about we all just grow up? How about that? Not here to make friends or whatnot. I understand the guy has a following. That's fine. I got a following too. Fuck, Charlie Taps watches me every week. It's almost like, in the eyes of certain people, if you shoot a score on the wall or you shoot a score on the house shot, it shouldn't count. Well, those people need to go take their talents and start going bowling PTQs or go bowl tournaments overseas where you're bowling on garbage and test yourself. How about that? My limitations are I want to bowl in the house shot. I don't want to bowl on anything hard. That's not for me. I don't want to put myself through it. I know when I walk into a place, if I don't carry well, I'm not going to win. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I know my limitations. I'll bowl on something tough once in a while. That's fine. But I know it. Just like most of you guys know what your limitations are. If you average 220 on the house shot, do you think you're ready to go bowl a full slate of regional tournaments? Do you? No. There's a kid back at home. The kid back at home in my center, he had a goal. He wants to go win a regional this year. He averages 217. Never cashed a dime in any local event over here. I don't knock people for trying. You don't. Okay? You don't knock somebody. If they're going to go out there and put the money up and bowl a full slate of regionals and be the red leader every week, that's fine. They're trying it. They're learning. They get their brains beat in, but they're trying. You can't knock somebody for trying. But you should be knocking anybody else for what they're doing on the lanes. And as much as this guy here, and as miserable as John Spence is, right? As miserable a human being as you are, John, The bottom line is this: if somebody was in your league at Thursday in Deptford, let's just say it was Bob Moran, and Bob Moran strikes a shit ton, right? Let's say it was Bob, and Bob went 4 weeks in a row, 800, 800, 300, 800. You're going to say, Bob, great fucking bowling. You're going to put your hand out. Give the guy credit. He's doing something right. He's not going 59 feet in front of the pins and pushing them down and scoring that way. He's doing something right. Acknowledge it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Aggravating. Completely aggravating, and it's obnoxious. Completely obnoxious. You're right with Martell. But again, if you know Mike will post his scores. He bowls some, I think, like a fucking grandma senior league up in Babylon in the mornings up there. And when I talked to him a couple weeks ago, he was in the mid 240s. But he bowls 800 like he changes his underwear. Bowls 800 every week. Posts his scores, posts a picture of the ball. What's wrong with that? Brent Tishik is another one. Brent Tishik shoots an honor score every 37 minutes, it seems like. You don't break his chops. Why? Never go after him. Brent Tishik can pull 9 honor scores in a week. You're not going to go after that guy. Barda's another one. You're not going to go after Adam Barda. And Ian Lang is another one. Ian shoots an honor score every single week, it seems like. Ian is a phenomenal talent. He's always been from we bowl in juniors in college. Ian Lang is a hell of a player. Why don't you ever go after guys like that? Because they challenge themselves? They want to bowl something harder? Huh. Why? Answer me. If Ian is still watching, listen to me. Tell me, Ian, why don't they go after you and knock your abilities or whatnot, or piss on your pre when you post your 879 from 2 weeks ago, or your 816 or whatever you bowled last night? Why don't they ever do that? Why is it a double standard? And I would love to debate this with the said person. I would. And as a matter of fact, I will give him an open floor to come join me whenever he wants and just shoot the shit and talk. And put it to bed. Because I want to know how his views are so different than mine and how his views are so different than everybody else. We're growing the sport. We do this for fun. We grow the sport and whatnot. But what he did was a little bit off the beaten path. It was off topic. It wasn't right. It wasn't right. Now, rant over. I don't really have much more. We've been going for about 30 minutes so far right now. But like I said, we're back in Delaware for the players this week. What is this here? DJ Marshall. They don't go after people in close what is that supposed to mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Please tell me. In case anybody's wondering, I'm using my Ocean Lanes cup here. The only good thing ever came out of Ocean Lanes is free glass from last season. I almost feel like if in certain people's eyes, if you don't bowl on a sports shot or you don't bowl on patterns regularly, you're not any good. Like, you just get poo-pooed on. Well, why is that? Well, I agree. I guess I kind of agree with that. You mean close to them, like as friendship-wise or ability-wise? Because I'll be honest with you, Colinary's talent is pretty effing good. He's pretty good. He scores everywhere he goes. Q is another one. Mush is another one. I'm just naming guys I know that score a lot. Tishik is another one. Bardas obviously speaks for himself. Martell speaks for himself. Mirabile speaks for themselves. They do. How about this one? And Spence, you'll like this one. How about Chris Vialli last week posting his video? I've never seen Chris Vialli post a thing on social media, but he posted his 100th 300 game. So we have to Chris Vialli. There's a national champion. Made the show at the High Roller back in the 90s. An amateur megabuck legend. So we have to Chris Vialli. Was he both 300 on the house shot? Go after him. He's an old man now. He's in his 50s. What can I say about Vialli? Friendship-wise, you're referring to. There are guys that I am close with that I will tell, and I'll say to their face that they stink and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I break balls. I give credit where credit is due. I don't go out and use my platform that I have here, my show that I do once a week or once every other week, and bash people. That's not right. That's not what this game needs. We need to build the game and all come together as one common like family basically, and just grow it and continue to do it. Bowling gets pissed on enough. We're not taken seriously. Like, we're bumped from Fox because of monster trucks or whatever's before the players. We don't have the notoriety. We don't have the following that I'm going to go with the major four sports, but like golf or tennis or whatnot. Honestly, pickleball is probably going to be the next thing taking over bowling. Cornhole probably gets better viewers than bowling. Competitive tag. There's pillow fighting I've seen. What about axe throwing? Those the timber sports and whatnot. We don't get the recognition we deserve. We don't. We don't need any more negativity in the sport of bowling. We don't. Bowling is a business. It's become a business. Take Bolero out of it. Take the Bolero Corporation out of it. People want to bowl in a place where they're going to watch their ball go from this point to that point, this way, and put 10 back. That's what they want. They want to bowl in a place where they don't have to think, where they're going to score. If you have two bowling centers in a 10-mile proximity to your house, I ask you this one. One place, everybody and their mother is 235, strikes like, they're going out of style. Or you can bowl the other place where it carries harder, they're a little trickier, and the high average in building is, let's say, 224, 25. Where are the majority of the bowlers going to go? They're going to go to center A because they want to strike. Nobody wants to think anymore. Nobody wants to be challenged that much anymore. Proprietors and centers get the bowlers by putting the easier thing out there. It's common sense. That drives business. The easier the pattern is, the easier the center is, the more bowlers walk in the door. Leagues go through the roof that way. That's what they want. It's simple as that. It's a business. Unfortunately, the centers that are a little bit trickier, that are a little bit harder and whatnot, nobody's gonna go bowl there. Nobody wants to think. Nobody wants to use their brain or whatnot anymore. Spence, I'm sure, could tell stories about Viali. He bowled with him at William Patterson. Yeah, I could see that. Viali, he is impressive. Chris has always been a tough player, and he got tougher as he got older. He's an example of a guy who can beat you on the lanes physically, but Viali can beat you mentally. Viali's brain on the approach is it's superb. That's why I put Grandpa Barnes in a very high regard too. Barnes is one of the best shot makers I've ever seen throw a bowling ball. It's fantastic. If you've ever seen Chris Barnes bowl live, it is like a work of art. He's absolutely amazing. But Barnes's brain, the things that he thinks of, he outthinks you. He knows the move like 3 frames before he has to make it, and he makes it. Whether it's with his hand or his feet or lofting it, his tilt, whatever it is. Chris Barnes is smarter than 99% of the bowling world. That's what separates Barnes from all of us. That's what separates Simonson from all of us. That's what separates Norm Duke and Voss and Walter Ray and Weber and Parker. Those guys are smarter than us. What's the saying? Smarter than the average bear from Yogi Bear. Those guys are smarter. They will beat you with their brains as well as their balls. But they're gonna beat you with brains, but there's no more. Also want to give a big thank you. I used my show and the group, the memorabilia group that I run on Facebook, to raise money for the BVL, like I always do. And this year, our association, we're the number 2 association in the country. We raised just about $24,000 for the vets this year, and 50 years to Johnny P. Did a big thing for him at the convention. All the money we raise, and I always take donations through the show and through the Facebook page, goes right to the BVL. So this is 50 years that John has been with the BVL. A vet himself. I can't think of anybody that's done more charity work for the vets than Johnny has for 50 years. So he will be he got recognized. We got recognized as an association out in Las Vegas. Johnny's getting recognized at Bowl Expo next month in Orlando. But these were handed out to everybody at the convention. So again, thank you to anybody and everybody who's donated through my platform for the past year to the vets. We'll always take donations, and it goes right to the BVL. But this was for Johnny, and absolutely just a wonderful cause. So again, thank you to everybody who's donated, and thank you to Johnny for all of your hard work and whatnot. I don't really have much more to say. We're gonna go off topic for a minute here. The Mets stink. I know everybody wanted to hear me bitch about the Mets. $330 million payroll. They look like a company softball team. They are just completely dead. Two dinosaurs at the top of my rotation. One of them is going to be, he can't throw a ball without a sticky substance on his hand. He's going on the DL, or sorry, the IL again, pitching through an injury. So he'll be going on vacation probably as of tomorrow. He skipped his start tonight. The other dinosaur didn't look that bad with Verlander. He's all right. It's just painful. It's painful. More importantly, I've gotten really big into the NBA during the playoffs this year and wagering. I've actually done pretty good with some wagering at the NBA. But how are the Sixers a 7.5 point dog tonight? I don't get that. I know they're on the road, but 7.5 points is a lot. Is Embiid not going to play? Is Maxey not playing? Everybody knows that. I don't know. I saw somebody ask about the Knicks before. The Knicks are dead. I don't really have a team. I root for the Warriors, and there's a story behind that. It's a long story, and it's something I don't really want to talk about, but it involves a friend of mine and his son who passed away in a Make-A-Wish. I'm just going to leave it at that, but that's why I kind of follow the Warriors. And the Warriors are one of the classiest organizations in professional sports, and if anybody wants to know the story, I'll tell them at another time. The Warriors are dead, too. They're not beating – Steph's not beating LeBron. And the Knicks are dead. The Knicks had to have won last night. They had to have won the game last night. They're completely dead. RIP to the Knicks. Good run. They're not beating Miami. If Miami almost beat them with their second string without Jimmy Butler playing, now Jimmy Butler's back in the lineup. They're not losing. So the Knicks will be outed in this round. I predict, I would love to see Philly get to the conference finals. I would love to see Philly get to the NBA finals. And the only reason I say that is because they get to the NBA finals. Whoever wins the Laker-Warrior series, in my opinion, is winning the title. That is my opinion. Whoever comes out of the Warrior-Laker series is winning the title. I would love nothing more than to see another Philadelphia sports franchise lose the title. The Phillies lost in the World Series. The Eagles lost in the Super Bowl. How about the Sixers go to the finals and lose to the Lakers, or lose to the Warriors, or lose to Denver? How great would that be? The city of Philadelphia will be up in flames. The Ben Franklin, the Walt Whitman, the Betsy Ross, all those little bridges that go into Philadelphia will be set on fire if the Sixers got to the finals and lose. That would be the ultimate triple crown. The Eagles, the Phillies, and the Sixers all in 1 year. My God. Get the Knicks off of Giannis. Faf, Faf, why don't you shoot me over an email? Why don't you come on? I want to talk to you for a minute. I want to get your opinion on what I said about something earlier. There are two James Harden. 7.5 is a lot of points. I thought it was because of maybe with Embiid not being healthy. I don't know. But I would love to bet the Celtics. But 7.5 points is a lot. It really is. And Philly played a really good game the other night. Except the fourth quarter. Boston outplayed them in the fourth quarter. And Boston they were hungry. They were absolutely just playing for blood. They were out for blood on Sunday night. And I was watching that game. It was like, holy shit. Like, they just – it was incredible. Oh, boy. Are you serious? Oh, there we go. Now we're playing. We just played the 84 Tigers last week. The Mets. They got swept by the 84 Tigers, and now they're getting swept. They're going to get swept by the Big Red Machine. They're playing the Reds. Faf, if you can't do it, it's not a problem. We'll catch up another time. But we'll speak another time about my rant about what's wrong with bowling and negative people and whatnot. There's another guy right there. If you haven't seen Bowling with the Fef, there is a guy who does it right too. I'm sorry, Andrew, I forgot to put you in that equation. I was saying earlier, guys that have their shows and whatnot, Stewie and Barnes, I put up on the top of the list. You're right below it, Fef. You have done a fantastic job through the years doing this. Absolutely fantastic. There's a guy. That's a guy who does it right. You never hear anything negative come out of that guy's mouth. And now it's going to be 4-1 Cincinnati. This is just a joke. It's like the Mets are playing. It's almost like the Mets are on the U.S. Open pattern and the Reds are on the house shot. It seems like every opponent for the Mets in the past 10 days has been on the house shot, and the Mets are playing on like a 1-to-1 flat 40-footer. That's exactly what this is like. Steve Cohen and all his billions of dollars should fire everybody. Get his money back. What a disgrace. Overpaid stiffs in Flushing. Overpaid stiffs. You know what Steve Cohen should do? Why doesn't Steve Cohen go buy the PBA? There's a good investment. And I know Cohen's a bowler because this guy right here did an exhibition for Steve Cohen years ago at a holiday party. Here's a little Johnny P story for you. Johnny was called to do an appearance for a holiday party in New York City. So they called him up and they said, hey, Wall Street guy, the owner of the company has been following you for years, always was a fan of you back in the 70s and the 80s. We would love for you to come out and do an exhibition. We have a holiday party at a bowling center in New York City. They were bowling at Port Authority, the bowling center in Port Authority. So Johnny obliged. I'll be out there, blah, blah, blah. Give him the details. Johnny goes out. He does the exhibition, meets the owner of the company, shakes his hand, takes some pictures, throws some balls with him. They bowl. Great time had by all. Johnny gets home, and Johnny's on his computer, and I love Johnny Pave, and Johnny's not very tech savvy, but he goes, I want to find out exactly who this guy was that I did an appearance for. Whose party did I go to? So he types in the guy's name. The guy's name was Stephen Cohen. Steve Cohen, now owner of the Mets. Steve Cohen, $14 billion he's worth. Johnny had no clue. But Steve Cohen, big Johnny P fan. So here, if we can get this to Steve Cohen and everybody over a .72, that's the hedge fund. Steve Cohen, buy the PBA. It's probably a drop in bucket. Buy the PBA. Let guys run it. Let me ask the people that are watching this still. If you guys were to own the PBA, what would the first thing you would do to change it? Or would you make any changes to it? What could you do to better professional bowling? What could you do? Here's my 2 cents on it. You want to know what I would do? First thing you have to do is get sponsorship back. Back in the day, look at the sponsors the PBA had. AC Delco, Rolaids, Bud Light, Miller, Quaker State, right? Tums, Sparkplug, Splitfire, Sparkplug. You had all these major companies that dumped money in sponsoring tournaments. And they kind of went away a little bit. And the prize funds went down a little bit. And then bowling changed, and they got bought by Microsoft, and it moved out of Akron and all that stuff. Bowling changed. I personally think get some sponsors. There's plenty of sponsors that you could go after now. Well, what's popular now? The crypto market. Go after the crypto market. See, Glenn, I also have a problem with this too. I also have a problem with you're bowling 12 games and you can bowling on a TV show and have a chance to win a professional title. That's my opinion. That shouldn't be happening either. But go after sponsorship. That's what I would do. Get rid of Bolero and have it run by the bowlers. Have somebody who is a bowler run it. What do we got here? Go negative for 3 to 5 years while you guarantee large prize funds and get sponsorship. I've seen majors on in a casual environment like casinos and bars here in Vegas, and the casuals are interested in when they see guys bowl for 100K. DJ Marshall, let me ask you a question, and I'm going to ask this to everybody here. What would you rather see? Would you rather see Jason Belmonte on ESPN having to throw a ball to strike for $100,000? Or Would you rather see little Mary Jane Smith, who's a cashier at your local CVS, who has to get up and throw a strike to win $100,000 on ESPN? What would you rather see? I would rather see Mary Jane Smith, the cashier who averages 185 and works at the CVS, get up and have to throw a ball on national television for $100,000. And if you want to know where I'm going with that, myxleague.com. Check it out. That's where you're going to see the normal person have a chance to bowl for a large amount of money. And myxleague.com. The biggest bowling league in the world. Check it out. That's a cheap plug. That is my baby. We're starting it up. I can't plug it enough. myxleague.com. Put a franchise in, learn all about it. It is team bowling at its finest. Check it out. If you can watch a guy play cornhole on ESPN, or like I said before, competitive tag or whatnot, bowling should be on ESPN. Yes, on the professional side, but also now you're going to take the normal, everyday, average Joe and put them on TV. So X League, you'd have 9-on-9, 3 pairs of triples, a scratch pair, a handicap pair, and a pair with 3 bowlers that can't average over 215. You have Mary Jane Smith, who averages 192, works at your CVS. She has to get up and throw a strike to win $100,000 for her team. You don't think that's going to be more exciting than watch Belmo throw a strike for $100,000? What does the average person want to see? They don't want to see a professional do that. They want to see the average. That's a feel-good story. That's the stories you want to see. myxleague.com. Go check it out. But back to the PBA. Sponsorship, longer seasons, longer formats, maybe. Balero's done a very good job so far, but, Denny's sponsoring the PBA Tour. No. What was the other one? Now it's Rate Quote, then it was, Paps was there? Like, uh, there's so many other, like, little things that just don't have a name sponsor. No. My opinion, no. Absolutely not. Open the fields. Just like back in the day. Have a rabbit squad, like they used to do. Thank you, Lumber Liquidators. That was the other one. Have a rabbit squad. Bowl. Get yourself into the field. And do like they used to. Do Thursday, Friday show on Saturday, or Wednesday, Thursday show on Friday, show on Saturday. If you can't do it, then do it during the week. You don't want to compete. You don't want to compete against the NFL. You don't want to have your show on a Sunday in the winter against the NFL. You're going to get no ratings. Nobody's ever going to watch bowling at 3:00 on ESPN on a Sunday when the NFL is on. You can't compete against the NFL. That's why the time slot was so good in ABC at 3 p.m. for years in the spring, but they didn't have college football, baseball is going on, whatever. But you're not going to have national games like the NFL, so you're not drawing against anybody. A very prominent name in the bowling world, about 2 years ago, he told me the perfect person that he thinks by the PBA. And I've agreed with him, and I said this, like, wow, this is a hell of an idea. How would you guys feel if Mookie Betts bought the Professional Bowler Association? Now, there's a guy, one of the most recognizable athletes in the world, loves to bowl, right? Loves to bowl, a great bowler. Mookie's a very talented player. Let him buy it and just assign people to run it there. You have Mookie Betts there. You don't think Mookie could influence his sponsors to, hey, I bought the Professional Bowlers Tour, blah, blah, blah. I want you to sponsor a tournament. I don't know who Mookie's sponsors are, but Nike, New Balance, Adidas. You don't think, sponsors that are on Camp Mookie on the baseball side, he couldn't bring in on the professional bowler side either? There's a guy that would do it. Has the money to do it. It's dropping the bucket, but it's not going to cost that much. And then have people delegate people to run it for him. Mookie Betts would be a phenomenal owner to own the PBA and take it over and then delegate it. I don't even think the PBA has like a president anymore. I know they have. Tom Clark does a great job as the commissioner, but I don't think they have a players president. I know when I interviewed Walter was a president of the PBA for a while. Johnny was a president for the PBA for a while. I don't think they have that anymore. Because it's all corporate owned. Bring it back independently. Like, give the bowlers what they want. Let the bowlers speak what they want. I guarantee you, if you polled the guys on tour now, they would want longer formats, right? What about Chris Paul? Should he retire in some sort of role with a decades plus on the board? Well, I mean, I think Chris Paul's going to retire from the NBA. I think his career is basically over, right? Um, I've been real. Like I said, I'm not big into basketball, but I don't think Chris Paul has much left on his shoes, right? Playing in the NBA. Um, he wouldn't be another one. And here's a guy who bowled, when bowling was bowling. It was different. It was a non for profit. So Tap, if Mookie Betts was to ever buy the PBA, I don't think they could revert it back to the way it was when Eddie Elias had it, when Eddie ran it. I mean, wouldn't that just be like a fantastic idea? Could you just like rebrand it? Or would you combine it with like the international bowling scene, like with JPBA and whatnot? Well, could you do that? Or the international bowling tour, all that stuff, like bring them together. Have one like giant professional tour, like a world tour, like a world bowling tour over everything. It's weird because, and I'm not sure on how many of them, but when I talked to Jaros and Walter Ray in the one episode we did, Justin and I did last year, Jaros said a couple of his regionals that he had won, and Jaros had 43 regional titles at the time when we interviewed him. I think he said like 3 to 4 titles he had now count as national titles. Some of the international titles that Tim Mack had won through his career, arguably one of, if not the greatest international bowler of all time, now are professional titles. So even though Timmy never went to the winner's circle on the PBA tour, the tournaments he's won, they are professional titles now. So why don't you just have it all under one umbrella? Have one giant organization. That would be great, right? Have one giant organization. Charlie, when you bowled on tour, was it like 30 weeks, 36 weeks out of the year you guys were touring, just about? If I'm not mistaken? Had your winter tour, your summer tour, your fall tour, right? So like 36 weeks. Do you think the guys now would want to bowl 30 to 36 weeks out of the year? I don't see why they wouldn't. And this is not knocking you, Charlie, and your generation, but the guys now are in better shape than the guys that, out the bowling tour when you guys were out there. I mean, these guys are gym rats. If you look at Marshall Kent, Marshall's ripped. Marshall, even on the look at Shannon O'Keefe, even the ladies tour, Shannon is in the gym all the time. All those Verities in the gym all the time. Like you see it on social media, they live in the gym. These guys, you know, they are in such good shape. They are built to bowl the longer formats now. I would love to see a 30, even a 20 to 25 week tour every week. Get the sponsors. Seriously. I'm going to wrap this one up. Um, the money was split up how the home office saw it. Bowling's on the upside. I heard it all 2 weeks ago, every day in Las Vegas. Bowling's on the upside. Membership is up. It's thriving. Bowling is thriving. Here's free advice of anything I could say tonight. Let's not hate on everybody out there. Let's not piss on people's accomplishments. Let's just, if you got nothing good to say about somebody, just don't even say anything. It's not what this game needs. Bowling doesn't need negativity. Back to Tap. If the money was good enough, they would, but there wouldn't be anyone like Sam Flanagan. There was a good player. Just don't bash people, and it's not right. We don't need people getting bashed for bowling 300 for bowling 800. We don't need that. It's not right. Bowling on the upside. Bowling has stood the test of time. It's the most participatory sport in the world. It still is. There is no reason to, be the negative Nancy or whatnot. We're all here for the same thing. We all love this game. You guys, other people do your shows. I do a show once a week, once, twice, every other week. I love it just because it's me, whatever. I can speak my mind. People follow me. People break my balls. I break balls. It's fun. It's not meant to be hurtful. It's not meant to be, malicious or anything. Guys, does not bury everybody. Seriously. The sport of bowling does not need the bullshit like that. I'm going to be blunt and be honest about it. It doesn't need it. We need, positive things out there, positive stories, senior citizens that bowl. Vaughn Moody, 89 years old. Vaughn Moody. Always heard the name. I believe he's a California guy or a Vegas guy. Vaughn Moody, 89 years old, 8:30. I saw it on Facebook. I think it was Sunday or Monday. I saw it. Vaughn Moody, 89 years old, and I remember the name was he used to be a pretty big name bowler. 89 years old, tried 8:30. It's phenomenal. About Bo Burden, set the Florida state record on average with 247. It's 70 something years old. Those are good stories. That's what bowling needs. We need that special needs bowlers that are winning tournaments and shooting honor scores. That's what this game's all about. Anybody can do it at any age, regardless of the ability you have, regardless of what your physical features or your attributes are. That is what is so great about this sport. It is. I've seen it firsthand. I watched it for years on the tours of Carolier, watching the vets bowl in the wheelchairs. Even now, you see it. You know, that's what makes this game so great. That's all I got. I'm going to go grab myself some popcorn, and I'm going to go watch the Sixers Celtic game. I have not put a wager on the game yet. I don't know what I want to do. My heart says I want to bet the Celtics, but the 7.5 points is too much with the Sixers. I don't know how you don't take the Sixers with the points, right? And they're like almost plus 300 on the money line. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to win the game outright. I don't think they're going to win two in Boston. I think the play tonight is definitely the Sixers plus the points. And for some reason, I like the Suns tonight too. I like the Suns with the points. I think the whole thing with Jokic, whatever it is that big goon's name is, and the owner with the Suns, that little elbow on the sideline. I think that's going to be in Denver's head a little bit. And I just think Durant's due to just go off. Chris Paul not playing. This is going to be Durant's time to shine. Everybody said, Steph Curry he couldn't do it on his own. He always had his supporting cast of characters that he won on his own, and he won it last year. Well, this is Durant's time to shine now. He has the kid, whatever the little kid's name, Devin Booker. He has Booker there, but this is Durant's time to shine. If Durant wants to go down, as an all-time great and have his legacy, he has to win a title like this. So that's my play tonight. Philly plus the points, and I will take the Suns plus the points. Tomorrow night will be the burial of the New York Knicks. They will be R.I.P. the Knicks. That will be happening tomorrow. The New York Mets, this is just a disgrace. I can't even watch this shit anymore. This is just terrible. My baseball season is officially over. It's May 9th, and I'm already looking forward to spring training for 2024. That's it, guys. I'm done. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope the rant didn't offend too many people. And if it did, I apologize. But like I said, had to get my point across. Let's not hate on anybody, guys. Respect their abilities, respect their talents. It's the right thing to do. We all love this game. We all have the same mindset. Oh my God, Mark Hanna, another out. Go figure. But we all have the same mindset, guys. We're all here for the same reason. We love the sport. We've been doing it forever, and it's a hobby. That's all it is. It's a hobby. We're not doing this professionally, right? We're not Barnes. We're not Duke. We're not Belmo. We're not Tackett. We're not. We're just the average guys. We go to work every day, and we bowl league, and we're happy with what we bowl. End of story. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, whoa. Well, hello there. Here's a guy. I don't think there's anybody better with a plastic ball than the world than Gary Bonnerchuk. Gary, hope retirement's treating you well down in Florida. Miss you, bud. But let's all try to respect one another in the bowling world, guys. We don't need negativity. Like and subscribe to the page. I'll be back. I'm not sure if I'm going to be back next Tuesday. If I am going to try to get the winner of the players to come talk to me next week. If not, I will let the cat out of the bag. The next guest I am working on is a Hall of Famer. Justin and I sat with him about 2 years ago. We interviewed him before he retired. This time I am going to go, I'm trying to work on him. We're working on schedules. I'm going to try to go one-on-one with none other than Pete Weber. And we'll get Pete to go one-on-one with me. There's going to be a lot of wrestling talk. I'm just going to give you the heads up right now. Me and Weber will be talking about wrestling a lot. And the other one I'm going to try to get before he hits the senior tour is Monicelli. Amleto, we love Amleto. Talk to him regularly. So Weber and Monicelli are the two on the horizons, plus the winner of the players. That's what I'm working on. But other than that, Guys, like and subscribe to the page. Follow me for updates and whatnot. If any questions, comments, anything at all, shoot a message to me. You know where to find me on social media. We'll be back either next Tuesday or 2 weeks, and we will break everything down. What else is going on in the bowling world? Watch the players this weekend. Watch the doubles final this weekend. Like I said, play of the night is going to be Philly plus the 7, Phoenix plus the 4, and RIP of the New York Mets. They are just an absolute disgrace. Guys, bowl well. Winter season's ending. Join the summer league. Stay involved. Bowl your events, and we'll see you guys soon.